Hello, everyone, and good afternoon. This is Laura Goldman. I'm the dietitian with Premier Weight Loss, and it's my pleasure to present this topic of the role of antioxidants in metabolic health and weight loss. So we're getting a little bit sciencey here, but hopefully I can cover the broad points. And it's going to be a little bit wordy in some sections. So feel free to take screenshots whenever you need, or if you ever want any of these slides in the future, you can ask the Premier Weight Loss staff. I'm sure they will be happy to get those to you. So, as we say every week, it is important to remember that it's the quality of your calories that matters. And the good news is high quality calories, high nutrient dense foods are generally going to be antioxidant rich. So this puts it in perfect perspective for this week's topic. What we'll be covering is how food affects your body at the cellular level. Also, what oxidative stress is and what antioxidants are, because I think we hear these terms, but it's always important to understand what exactly we're talking about. I do give some food sources of antioxidants listed, a couple of challenges to try out for the week. And as always, I love to leave time for any questions that you may have about this topic or any other nutrition topic that you may have on mind. First and foremost, I think it's important that we talk about oxidative stress and why it matters. And so what's going on is that our body, is a fact of life, is constantly producing and or is exposed to what's called free radicals. Free radicals are an unstable oxygen containing molecule which has an uneven number of electrons. And so because they're unstable, they essentially bounce around or ricochet around in our bodies to try and get those electrons from other molecules to stabilize themselves. So this is the sciencey part. And so what happens there is that that can lead to a chain of cellular damage. Now, again, I said this does happen as a fact of life because it is a byproduct of metabolism, also our immune activity, but we also do have exposure to it in our environments. And while our body does have some ways to neutralize these free radicals, since again, they are a fact of life, if these free radicals increase to an abundance where our body is unable to neutralize them, this is what we call oxidative stress. And so this little photo, this little picture here sort of shows that progression of what would be happening to our cells as a result of oxidative stress. You've got the healthy cell to the far left, then the stressors, the free radicals impacting it in the middle, and then this end result of the cell not looking quite so healthy. And so this oxidative stress is considered to be involved in contributing to cardiovascular disease, certain types of cancers, even brain health decline. So it is an area that many people are concerned about. And how does that relate to what we're discussing? Well, excess fatty tissue, so visceral fat, is connected to having a chronic low-grade inflammation in our body and oxidative stress. Thankfully, the GLP-1 medications can help with not only the weight loss, but can help reduce the inflammation and reduce oxidative stress. And that is a wonderful feature, I would say, of these medications. And so adding these antioxidant-rich diets can further complement those effects. So now that we're talking about adding antioxidants to our diet, we should probably figure out what they are. And broadly speaking, they're compounds that are found mostly in plant-based foods. that they donate those electrons to the free radicals. Like I said, the ones that were bouncing around trying to take electrons elsewhere, these compounds can give those electrons to the free radicals to stabilize. So it's the counterbalance. You've got your oxidant and now you've got your antioxidant. And there are multiple categories of antioxidants, and they can be found in various forms and in different, there are different names. So I won't say all of these, but of course we talk about our vitamins. So A, C, and E have antioxidant capabilities. And then there are a number of phytochemicals in our plants, and phytochemical literally means plant chemical. And so I'm sure you have heard of lycopene, such that you can find in tomatoes. You've got curcumin from turmeric, anthocyanins, those can usually be found in blueberries, et cetera, et cetera. And to some degree, minerals such as selenium and zinc also have some antioxidant activity. So all of these can help prevent that damage to the DNA, to our cells, and the cell membranes, and that will help support our immune function, can help with our healthy aging, and to some degree can help with healthy metabolism. However, I think it is very important to say that it is possible to have too much of a good thing. So typically going overboard happens from supplementation, not necessarily through diet. So try and go the dietary pathway first when we're looking to get more antioxidants into our bodies, just because it is possible to get too much. And then you're not going to have the positive outcomes that you're hoping for. And as I mentioned earlier, our bodies also do produce some of our own antioxidants to help with the oxidants that are in the body, the free radicals. So alpha lipoic acid and glutathione, for example. Now, how are the antioxidants contributing or involved when it comes to the concept of weight loss? And this is sort of painting with a broad brush here, but first and foremost, it seems as though oxidative stress can get in the way with insulin signaling. So the risk of insulin resistance can start there. And polyphenol-rich diets are actually associated with improved insulin sensitivity. We also know that insulin resistance and obesity oftentimes can go hand in hand. So having improved insulin sensitivity can also be beneficial for weight loss progress. We look at mitochondrial health as well, because the mitochondria, our powerhouse of the cell, is also the big site of free radical production. And what antioxidants can do there is support the mitochondria. They're not going to stop producing free radicals. So to have antioxidants available and support the mitochondria and help remove that oxidative stress right out the gate can be very helpful. And that may help support energy levels, which the potential for improved physical capabilities, reduced fatigue are very promising, because of course these are very common issues that people will report when they are working on weight loss. This trial at the very end that I'm listing here, the PREDIMED trial, isn't directly talking about weight loss necessarily, but there was a study of, I believe, over 7,000 people that if they had a high cardiovascular risk but no cardiovascular disease, they were involved in this study where they were following a Mediterranean diet, which by its very nature is rich in antioxidant-containing foods. And the study resulted that these people who were following the Mediterranean diet had a significantly reduced cardiovascular events and also improved metabolic markers overall. So we can see improvements independent of weight loss. By now, you're probably asking, what are the sources? You may already have some in mind, and this is not a comprehensive list by any means. They can be found in multiple foods, but I wanted to list out a quick breakdown of some sources of antioxidants and from different food groups. So you can see with the fruits, these sources of antioxidants, blueberries, many people know about. Vegetables tend to be the greens, the oranges, and the reds. Herbs and spices also have quite a bit of antioxidant activity. You can get it through our teas and our coffees to some degree. And didn't want to leave out dark chocolate, extra virgin olive oil, some nuts and seeds, as well as beans and Brazil nuts. However, with Brazil nuts, they are very high in selenium. You don't really want to consume more than 4 at a time. So proceed with caution on that, but it is a source of selenium, rich in selenium, actually. And now that you have that list of foods, I think it's a very good idea to try and imagine how to add those to your meals. So I do give some suggestions with breakfast where you can add the berries or ground flaxseed. You could also blend spinach into a smoothie because you won't taste it. For lunch, the salads are a perfect opportunity to really build a rainbow in your salad bowl. So dark and leafy greens, bright red tomatoes, or maybe some red bell peppers, add some walnuts, and then do a little bit of olive oil and lemon, canned beans as well. So you can make a very good antioxidant rich salad that way. And then trying to add herbs and spices. This for dinner is your perfect opportunity to season your proteins with those herbs and spices. Also, just roasting a bunch of colorful vegetables can be very helpful and very simple. I do give some suggestions on snacks. And if you like green or hibiscus tea, incorporate that maybe in your afternoon. But I do suggest, keep it simple, keep it small. You do not have to reinvent the wheel of your meals every day. Just try to add something rather than thinking about taking away. And now we're already at the challenges of the week. So the first challenge is to eat the rainbow. And unlike Skittles, where it's taste the rainbow, this is about eating the rainbow of foods. So try to include at least 3 different colors of fruits or vegetables in your day. And I do give some examples of red, orange, green, some blue and purple, and even white or tan, which do count. Garlic, onion, and cauliflower are also very rich in antioxidants. If you feel like you've already been able to eat a wide variety of foods and get that rainbow in, then look at challenge number 2, where I say get spicy. So try to add at least 1 antioxidant-rich herb or spice to your meal every single day. So if you like curry type flavors, adding turmeric into your eggs or soup would be a really good addition there. You could add cinnamon to your oatmeal or top off your coffee. And rosemary and oregano are excellent spices or herbs that go well with roasted vegetables and with meats. And if you like stir fry, which I love, having some fresh ginger into it can really enhance that flavor. So to put all of this together, we do know that excess weight can increase oxidative stress and inflammation. And making sure that we're getting in antioxidants are a very important dietary approach to help improve your cellular health, can help with energy, and support insulin sensitivity. We talked about the good sources and eating from the rainbow, so having a more colorful plate will be very advantageous. And overall, it's about making small, sustainable changes. So your medication is already doing very good work. And so what you eat can either support or work against what your efforts are going into at the cellular level. But the good news is these changes don't have to be dramatic. It's just about consistency. And with that, I leave it open to questions if you have any. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you found some pearls of wisdom in this talk and that it leads to maybe some new recipes or trying out a new spice. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day, and I hope to see you in the next one.